All right, good evening, everybody. Well, it's evening for me, but it's probably daytime for you. So it's Thursday, and what I want to do in this episode is talk to you about Mansfield 2023 to Mansfield 2024. And please bear in mind, I had an argument with a wife over this. I had an argument with my parents over this site, and I had everything on the line because honestly, the wife was saying, Dean, just so we're clear, I don't want to do this. And if it messes up and it messes up our lifestyle because you took another risk, then I will hold you fully responsible. For all the men out there, that is scary. I can cope with losing money, but an angry wife, no chance. Mum and dad had a word with me as well. It was like an intervention from my family. My best mate had a word with me as well. He was, he does, well, he's not really a handyman, but he kind of is. So he's a handyman for us sometimes, and he's also an investor in the business. He's not an equity partner, but he's invested in the company, and he does property. His thing is property, buying property, doing them up, selling them, and sometimes renting them out. And so he's got quite a wad of cash. And he said to me, Dean, is this the right thing to do? If you just stop now, you're good, you're set for life. And I'm like, oh God, is it? Is it not? Is it something I should do? And then I was like talking to the wife about it, talking to my parents. My parents are like saying, Dean, when's enough enough? I'm like, never. No, I was talking to Gavin Shields about this the other day. I have got a clear plan, absolutely mapped out what I want and when I want to do it by. And so yeah, I know when's enough's enough. But in self storage, I genuinely feel, honestly feel that in 10 years' time, we'll look back and think, oh my God, self storage, it was amazing. What an opportunity. Why didn't we all grab it with both hands? We can see what's happened in Australia. We can see what's happened in America. There's a clear pathway from where we are now to where it's going to be, how popular it's going to be. Why don't we just go all in? Why didn't we? And I don't want to be asking myself that questions and being upset with myself and feeling like I missed out on opportunity. I said to my parents that if everything goes correct, and by the way, we've got some hurdles to jump over. Obviously, we're expanding all the time. I keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it. Cash flow is always going to be tight. It's better than it's ever been before, but it's still tight. And we've had a very, very good winter period. So it's still tight, but it's something we're going to keep an eye on. I'm not saying that we'll definitely get to the end goal. Well, I think we will, but I know there's risks along the way, especially with how much we're expanding and not taking equity partners on. I've been inundated with, obviously, because of his podcast, because of a newsletter. And I'm very, very grateful for equity people wanting to come in and take a sizable chunk. For those of you who don't know, I turned down a billionaire. I should probably write a story on that because it was, oh my God, it was mental. The day I turned down a billionaire who, it was quick, made a valuation straight away of a company, wanting to basically pay me X amount of money. I can't remember the details. I've done a blog post about it. I've done a podcast about it. I think back then it was valued at £6 million, but that was like a year and a half ago, something like that. I can't remember the numbers. And he was going to invest £10 million every 2 years, and if I needed any more, then we could have more. And the deal is that I had to open, I think, 10 sites every 2 years or something. And he said, can you do it? I says, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, give me the funds. I can do it. The restrictions for me, the bottleneck is funds. So you take that bottleneck away, and yes, I can do it. So I never did the deal for one reason or another. But yeah, so that's just to say that I could take the risk out of it and cash some of my chips in. Some people will say you're stupid not to, but I feel like that I have got an opportunity and you've got an opportunity in self storage right now that we can, I can, and I don't want to just gift my family, my kids money or anything like that. I'm in debate all the time. Like, what do we do? Do we make them work for it? Do we not? I don't know. And to be quite honest, I don't think anybody has the idea. People have opinions, but nobody really knows what's right and what's wrong for their family. Gifting money, whatever, making it too easy, making it too hard. What do we do? And I swing from pillar to post all the time. But I genuinely, excuse me, I genuinely feel as if I work really, really hard for the next coming years, then I can look after my wife's side of the family. I can look after my side of the family. And everybody will have fixed the money problem in people's lives. And I feel like it's more stress on me, but it's also it's more selfish of me to tap out too quickly because I could tap out now and obviously be all right. But I'm tapping out now, just thinking to myself. And if I just went for X amount more years, and yes, the stress, whatever, the worry, and I love it by the way, then that extra years could make sure that not only am I all right, but the immediate family as well. And if any friends come to me and said, "Do you know what? And I've got this problem. I need an operation. It's X amount, 10,000, tens of thousands of pounds, £100,000." I can say, "Yeah, do you know what? I'm there for you, mate. Let's do it. Let's go." And so I feel like as though that it's my responsibility. I've got this opportunity which I've been lucky enough to fall into. So that is, I go honestly. People say you've got ADHD because you go and then you come back. I don't know. Definitely somewhere along that lines. And so basically, what I'm saying is that I actually explained to mum and dad and my wife and my best friend, and I said, "Listen, I've got such a responsibility, such an opportunity that I'd be stupid not to." And I did go backwards and forwards, thinking I shouldn't open Mansfield. And do you know what? It was probably really good negotiation tactics because I genuinely wasn't bothered if I got it or not because I knew I was going against the will of my family and uh, uh, as somebody who's invested in me in the company. Obviously, he was worried about me, but he was also worried about his investment as well. But Mansfield could bring down the company. Well, it's very, very hard for it to happen, but it could certainly put a strain on cash flow. And and so we actually negotiated 18 months half price rent, which was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, it's like 9 months rent free, which made a massive difference to cash flow. Anyway, has Mansfield been a success or not? Flipping heck. By far and away, the most successful site I have ever opened. And to think I nearly didn't do it, I nearly didn't do it. This site will, in 2 years' time, well, 2 years, this next year, it's going to take 450 to £500,000. The rent is 120 grand. The rates, I think the payable rates are 35 to 40. It's unmanned. It's wonderful. Absolutely a wonderful site. Even if we just kept now to the run rate we've got for the monthly run rate, we would take £400,000 now. And obviously we're growing all the time. So yes, it's been an amazing site. And I realize I'm just talking about this. I'm realizing in the back of my mind saying, "Shut up, Dean, you sound like you're so cocky." And I genuinely don't mean to be cocky whatsoever. It's just it, it was either do really well or have the wife's wrath forever. And so I'm just pleased that at the minute, touch wood, that we're not getting the wife's wrath. We're all right. We're good. So let's get on with it. So, and football's starting soon as well. And I want to watch it with my kid. It's Man City PSG versus Man City. Right. So 2023 versus 2024. I put in the newsletter because I wrote about this in a newsletter a bit ago. By the way, if you're not subscribed, it's where all the self-storage cool kids hang out. We've got over 800 people on the newsletter and we've got over a 60% open rate. So more than 500 people a day are opening the newsletter. MrSelfStorage.com. I'm blown away. Honestly, I said to the wife this morning when I was writing it, I was like, I can't believe that over 500 people are actually reading my newsletter. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? And you genuinely start thinking about imposter syndrome and stuff. You're like, did I not know that? Oh, we've got cash flow problems all the time? Did I not know that I don't really know what I'm doing? Did I not know that I'm winging it most of the time? And did I not know my accountants are on at me all the time saying, "Dean, you need to do this, Dean, you need to do that." And I'm just like, I never want to picture myself as somebody who's got it all together because honestly, I genuinely don't. I just try to do the best that we can possibly do with the information we've got. And we've somehow, over the 12, 13 years of running the self-storage, Beverly was the first site, we've somehow almost perfected operations. And I feel like that my superpower is finding a good site. And the next site I'm going to tell you about, hopefully going to be telling you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime next week anyway, is awesome. It's right in between. It's right in between McDonald's and Tesco's, and I know that Blue Self Storage will be envious. Finally, I'll have a site where they're like, oh, that is a good site, actually, for containers. That's a container site. Anyway, right, let's get back to Mansfield. So firstly, it's an indoor site. And it's a 20,000 square foot building. There's a massive courtyard because it used to be not screw fix. Anyway, one of those, a trade counter. And so we can fit like 60 containers on there as well. I think we've got 30 something containers there, most of them rented out. So I nearly didn't open, I put here, I nearly didn't open Mansfield because of the capex and the cash flow shortfall. So basically, when you first open a self storage, you've got the capital expenses, whether you might finance a lot of it, like the shop fit, but there's fencing, there's gates, there's all them sort of things, signs that you can finance, but it's not really worth it. If you do finance it, it's really, really expensive because it's not a fixed asset or a thingy asset. So it's more expensive to do so. And so we've got to pay for that. So you've got the capital expense, then you've got the shortfall of the cash flow because even though we got half price rent, we still got some rent to pay, we still got rates to pay, and we still got the repayments of the loans for the expansion in the shop fit in the middle, the doors, the rooms, the no key, whatever it is. And that costs a heck of a lot of money. And so maybe, just for argument's sake, when you first open, you might have nothing coming in, but your expenses might be £20,000 a month. So not only have you got the capital expenses, first of all, but you've also got the shortfall of £20,000 every single month. Don't get me wrong. Month one, you'll take nothing. Month two, you might take 2,000. Month three, you might take 3,000. Month four, you might take 4,000. Month five, you might take 6,000 to 7,000. But you've got that shortfall for however long. So that's the reason I nearly didn't open it. I'm going to be more concise with these podcasts because I do know that I go on and on and on. So I do apologize. Right. So as ever, I'm so glad we opened it because it's the best performing site in 2024, without doubt. As ever, I'm comparing three simple metrics: closing occupied square foot for the year. So that's how much square foot we've got at the end of the year, total churn rate for the year, and revenue for the year. So let's start by looking back at 2023. Remember, sorry, I'm getting excited, so I've got a croaky voice. At the end of 2023, we've only been open 6 weeks. So the closing occupancy after 6 weeks, it's incredible, was 6,625 square foot. That is not normal. You do not normally open a site and have 6,625. Incredible. The churn rate was 0% because we've only been open 6 weeks. And the revenue was 7,191. Again, that was really, really impressive. I was so happy with that. I was like, oh my God, this site, if it carries on like this, is going to be the best site we've opened. Fast forward a year, it is definitely the best site we've ever opened. And Willoughby is fantastic. Now you have some sort of context. How was 2024? Well, the closing occupancy was 19,000, not 1900. I was like, what are you doing about? 19,180. So when you compare that to 2023, 6,600. So we gained a massive 12,500 square foot. That's over 1,000 square foot a month gains. I think that is bonkers. Absolutely mental. I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy. Within 13 months of opening, our closing occupancy was 19,180. 13 months, 2 weeks. 19,000, nearly 20,000 square foot occupied in 13 months, 2 weeks. That is mental. I put here, I'm bloody over the moon with this. But not only that, we didn't throw it away. We didn't do it cheap. We did it. We still got a really good price for square foot. Anybody can sell anything cheap. I can sell a Ferrari tomorrow, no problem. But it doesn't mean I'm going to get any money for it. It doesn't mean I'm going to get value for the money. It means I can sell it. So anybody can sell cheap, but can you sell at the right price? And we've certainly done that as well. Right, the churn rate, it was 167% in 2024. I don't think that's too bad, especially the price per square foot we're getting, and the churn rate will consistently come down over the years until maturity. But it's a new site. I put here, but as it's a new site, I'm not concerned. It's on the live side, of course it is, but it's a new site. So I think that's well within the Goldilocks zone, well within the green zone. We're okay there. Revenue in 2023, as we know, it was £7,000 roughly. In 2024, it was 262,500. 260 grand we took. That is incredible. Incredible. I'm absolutely over the moon. And we finished taking £30,000 in December. This is ex VAT. So if we continue at that rate, the MRR, that means it will get to 360 if we only plateau now. If we only stay where we are at the end of December for 12 months, we would get to 360,000. That's in 2025. So that's another £100,000 revenue that we would be able to take in 2025 if we didn't move right now. But obviously we are going to move. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. So that means we increase revenue by over £250,000, over £250,000. We increase revenue. And the most important thing is now, it took less than a year to be cash flow positive. So I can tell the wife, I know best, do one. Please nobody tell her I said that. Please. I will deny it. I will delete this. She will never know. But no, genuinely though, I'm not, there is a, there is a, there is a little bit of truth to this because what I'm saying is that I've got to remember that I'm in charge because I'll be honest, we did have an argument about this and it wasn't a massive argument, but it was an argument nevertheless. And she said, what's the point of me giving my opinion to you because you're just going to do what you want to do anyway? So what's the point of me even telling you what I think? And I took it away. I thought about it and I came back to her and I said, listen, Claire, I understand where you're coming from. I get your point of view, but I don't agree with it. Ooh, I'm getting nervous even saying it. I'm getting sweaty palms. But be serious, sir. That is right. I've got to listen to your opinion. I've got to take it on board. But I can't do what you tell me to do because if I do, you might as well run the company. You should run the company then, not me. I shouldn't run the company. It should be you running the company because if I just do everything you say, then what's the point of me being here? I've got to be my own man. I've got to make the decisions. And yes, I've got to listen to you. I've got to take it on board. I've got to think about what you said. I've got to respect what you say. But ultimately, I'm the person running this company and I'm the person who's got to make the decisions. And I said to her that you would have never, ever opened any more apart from Willoughby. You wouldn't have opened Clough Road. You wouldn't have opened Glasgow. You wouldn't have bought Wrexham because it was too far. There's always a reason not to do something. There's always risk. There's always worries. There's always something that isn't perfect. And most people will find a reason not to do something and they'll let that inside voice win. That inside voice wants you to be comfortable all the time. It don't want you to get off the sofa. It don't want you to go for a run. It wants you to keep wrapped up. It wants you to put the snooze alarm on. But sometimes we've got to tell that inside voice to shut the fuck up. And sometimes we've got to do that to the wife. No, I'm joking. We definitely don't do that to the wife. But on a serious note, yeah, I did think about this and I thought, do you know what? I've got to respect other people's opinions because my decision impacts other people. Because believe it or not, I don't really show it at home, but it can get stressful, especially with cash flow when the VAT is due or something. You're like, but I've got to take on board people's opinions, but I've got to make my own opinion. It's really underlined it for me. And mum and dad just want the best for me. Of course they do. The wife wants the best for me. And everybody's doing it because they want the best for me. They care about me. But I've got to make the decisions myself. And increasing by £250,000 is crazy. So what are the goals for 2025? Right, our current MRR, monthly recurring revenue, is £35,000. It's actually a little bit below that. So we should be taking around about £400,000 to £420,000 if we continue on this run rate now. However, I think we can get better than that. I put here the goal is £500,000. I'm confident we can push that to £500,000. If we can do that, £500,000 in like 25 months, that is nuts. That's an increase of 2,000. That's not that. I'm at 25,000, 52,000, £20,000 a month. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I think that is unbelievable. If we can get to that goal, sorry, I was working it all out wrong then. I'm like, public maths, don't do public maths. Honestly, no matter how good you are at maths, you're like all of a sudden go. So I think we can get to that goal. I'm really, really confident. The only thing we need to do is get going with the shop fit, the second part of it, the final part of it, and get these new units open because we're over 80% full now, and that is going to hold us up if we're not careful. So at the minute, we're increasing prices, taking away offers because we know that by the time we get this shop fit done, it's going to be March or April, and that is when it's going to get busy. So hopefully we can really make it for the rest of 2025. Right, my friends. The next one I am looking at, I think it's Beverly. If I haven't done Beverly, but I'll make it a lot more concise and a lot quicker for you because football's going to start as well. Right, all right, my friends. Thank you very much for listening. I really do appreciate you. I love you, and yeah, love you and appreciate you. Right, see you soon. Bye bye.